Hi, it's me again, Corel Draw Tips and Tricks. Somebody sent me this part of a wedding invitation, I think, and it's pretty cool. Two things. I can't do anything with the second picture you sent because it's blurry, it's out of focus. So a couple of things we need to think about. You evidently have one of these and they've discontinued it, they said. I don't know how big this is for real, but I don't think it's 30 inches. Uh, with especially with white paper, try to take it on a black background or a dark background, not a grainy, piece of wood background. It would help you quite a bit. I mean, if you had this on a, buy some black construction paper and lay it on top of it, and it would trace a lot better. So for the one I'm doing it for, I'm going to reduce it in size quite a bit. I'm going to bring it over here. I'm going to go ahead and trace out some of this wood. I actually, so whenever you crop out, not trace, whenever you crop, you want to make sure you've got it selected. Because if you don't, everything else on your screen will disappear. In this particular case, it doesn't really matter, but try to get your picture square. So now we've made it littler. And it is, since the grain is there, I'm going to go to bitmaps and convert it to a bitmap, and I'm going to convert it to grayscale. That's going to kind of give me a less of a challenge. Okay, I'm less than 3 inches. See, I have my nudge factor of 4 and trace this. And I'm just going to use my normal outline trace clip art. And whenever you're through, do not move it. Nudge it. And we're going to nudge it over. Now, the first thing we're going to do, it might have lost a little detail, but so we need to really look at it. It actually did a pretty good job. I'm going to go to Object, Order. You know what? Let's try this. Let me move this one spot over. Let's trace it again. Outline trace. I kind of forget about doing this. And then after it's traced, go right here and go color from entire image. And let's see if that helped or worked. And it did and it didn't. But we can work with this a little easier. It did take out the background. So let's bring in a yellow box. Yep, we're good. So now what we want to do is we want to ungroup this. Go up to Effects, Object, Group, and Ungroup. And let's try this first. I got a piece of paper on my keyboard. Let's take the gray and move it out of the way. Look at all the trash it left. So instead of deleting this trash, move the good part. Now let's nudge that back. In this way, you can kind of look at two of them side by side and see if you've lost any detail. And this is pretty outstanding how good it did, considering the grain of the wood. Let's look at this corner. Yeah, there's a little bit of mess up right here. These two pieces go together, but that's so easy to fix. So I'm going to left click, right click, and there's your cutout. So you could do, as little or as much as you want here. I would probably go and break the curve apart. So let's select it, go up to Object, break the curve apart, and let's get rid of that one. And, if you want to remake these shapes, you could remake them before you copy them over here and then mirror it the other way. And, that doesn't look too bad. And just kind of go through there. And one thing you can do, let's go here and go up to the transparency tool. It is funny because I can't ever see it, but if you make it lighter, And then we can group this together and we can nudge it back. And then that way we can kind of see we did pretty good. We've lost a little bit of detail. Like this is, two pieces instead of one piece. Okay, whenever you can't grab it with a shape tool, it's because you've got it grouped. So just group it. And, there's several ways to do that. The way I would fix it real quick, get the 3-point curve line, just make a new shape. Then take your virtual segment delete key and delete that line. I mean, pretty easy. Then you could, it's kind of fuzzy, so it's not the best photograph. Let's do these up here. This would be a little bit easier. I would probably on this one just take I'm going to go ahead and go with the freehand tool. I don't really know well, that's terrible. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to make that line too thick still because remember I'm working real little. So that's about as thin as you can get it. So that isn't really going to work. Let's see what else we could do. You could just basically trace it and trace that little bit of freehand tool and just, trace some spots. Just make sure they close up and then delete any extra. And we're going to, before we are through, I'm going to smart fill it so it'll take and I can't, let's go back to the original picture. Well, you know what? I didn't make a copy of it. Yeah, these are, even in the original, they're kind of fuzzy, but a little bit elongated. And I would have just taken a ellipse and maybe make it, more like an oval. And this is a good little trick here. Start moving it and then hit your space bar. The space bar will make a copy of it. And I think you can do a lot better job than I'm doing right now. I'm not taking my time. But then after you critiqued all that, and we're pretty good, there's a bunch of these that we're missing. It just didn't trace out. So the same thing, just make do that with a line, but do these with a circle. Doesn't have to be, I would not make it perfect. That one's too perfect, so we could take the shape. Matter of fact, you could just do this, go to object, convert it to a curve. Then when you do that, you got a little node handle, and so you could make it that shape. Same thing. Just move it, hit the space bar. I mean, it's that quick. It's a lot easier than making a copy. And you can do that all over. And just kind of, redo some of these. So on this one right here, my suggestion, make a duplicate of that, take it over here and just reduce it in size. And you can make it even narrower. Then, after you've done everything, and you might get a better trace than I got, take your smart fill tool, and let's use something besides black. And let's fill that in. And then move that down. And left click, right click. And there is it needs to be a hairline. Select it all. Because I think they're going to cut this out of paper. So if you remember the little circles I cut or drew, and you could go through here and let's take the smoothing tool, set on really little, like 0.1, That's even, well, it's like 0.05. And just take these and see how I just smooth it out a little bit. You know, I don't want to change the shape, but I don't want those corners in there. That's a pretty cool design. I like it. And it really doesn't show up to what it really looks like till you fill it in, that you can see the flowers. Or let's do it like this. Let's fill it in with white. And then, okay, see, I'm using somebody else's file or somebody else's, and when we filled it in with white, it made an outline too. Then take a rectangle, make it black, object, order, back of page. There's your white. Now take away the red hairline, and that's pretty close to the original. Anyway, I hope that helped them a little bit, and thank you for watching.